I said in the last video that I needed to change up the hours of play. That didn't happen. What time is it? It's 2 a.m. Started the session at about 10 p.m. So played for 4 hours. It was a bit of a slow session to start. Table wasn't that good. We were playing shorthanded most of the time, but things picked up towards the end, and let's get through these hands. In this first hand, we are 7-handed. The cutoff posts, the under the gun raises to $10. I'm in the hijack with ace-8 of clubs, and I raise it to $40, and I get calls from the small blind and under the gun. 3 ways to a flop of ace-8-8, so flop the effective nuts. When it checks to me, I decide to check it back. Turn comes a 10 of diamonds, and small blind bets $35 with not much back. Under the gun folds, and I opt to raise to $110, which I thought was enough to cover his all-in, but he ends up just tank calling and has $8 back. The river comes, another ace, he checks, I put in the remaining $8, he calls, I show, and I take it down. Once again, 7-handed, I raise it to $20 from under the gun with ace-king offsuit, and both of the blinds defend. 3 ways to a flop of queen-10-4 rainbow, so I flop the nut shot. Both check to me, and I range bet $35. Small blind, who is a sticky and a splashy reg, makes the call, and big blind folds. Heads up to a turn of a deuce of diamonds, bringing in a backdoor flush draw. It doesn't change the general board texture, and so when he checks, I opt to begin polarizing and bet $120. He thinks it through for a bit and makes the call. We go to a river of a 3 of spades, and it's a good run out overall for the hands that I'm trying to represent, such as ace-queen plus. When he checks, I go for a near pot-sized bet of $350. He goes in the tank for quite a while, roughly a minute, and after some deliberation, he decides to make the fold. So unlike the previous vlog, the triple barrel works out this time. We are playing 6-handed in this next one. Under the gun raises to $20, cutoff, and button call. I'm in the small blind with ace-10 of hearts, and can flat sometimes given that it's suited and an above average hand. But playing multi-way can be tough when I'm out of position. So I opt to 3-bet it to try to thin the field, and I make it $120. The original under the gun raiser tank folds, and the other 2 players follow suit, so I take this one down uncontested. We lose yet another player in this next one. We are 5-handed. I raise it to $20 from the button with pocket 10s, and both blinds defend. 3 ways to a flop of king-queen-9 with 2 diamonds and a club. When both blinds check, I have to play my hand rather than my range and check it back. Turn comes in ace of hearts, so the board gets worse. Small blind checks, big blind bets around 2x pot, $115, and that puts an end to this one. Continuing with the same trend, we lose yet another player, and we are 4-handed. I raise it to $20 from the cutoff with ace-king of spades, and only the small blind calls. Heads up to a flop of 10-10-7 two-tone. He checks and can employ a mix of betting or checking. I opt for the latter. We go to a turn of a king of hearts. He bets $25, and I consider a raise for value since there are some draws, but I call hoping to gain more value on the river, which comes a queen of hearts. And this time he checks. It's a good card to go for some value, as he could have rivered a lady. I bet $60. He peeks at his cards, thinks about it, and lets it go. So no additional value, but take it down with ace-king suited. This next one is a straddle pot. I raise it to $35 from the hijack with 8-9 of clubs, and I get 3 callers, the cutoff, small blind, and straddler. 4 ways to a flop of queen 8-3 with a spade flush draw. Small blind leads for $35, straddler folds, I call, and cutoff folds. Heads up to a turn of a jack of diamonds. Small blind keeps firing, this time for $50. I decide to call again. River comes a 6 of spades, completing the front door flush. He checks with around $300 back. When he goes bet bet check, he's probably more weighted towards top pair as opposed to spades. So I think the best play is to turn my hand into a bluff and jam. That said, this player recently got stacked and didn't seem to be in a folding mood, so in this exact spot, I shy away and check it back. He tables queen nine of hearts and takes this one down with top pair. Alright, just taking a brief intermission before we finish out the rest of the hands in this video. As you can see, finally got t-shirts made, and as mentioned on a previous vlog, I want to give some of these away. So I'm going to do a giveaway of 10 t-shirts. All you have to do is drop a comment down below in this video. I'm going to use either an old school method of pulling names out of a hat or find an online random name generator to determine the winners. I'll announce those in a future vlog, probably vlog 76 or vlog 77. And it's just a small way to thank you all for supporting me on this journey, this vlog project that I started 2.5 years ago. I do just have limited quantities of the t-shirts available at the moment, so I'm just gonna be doing the giveaway. But if you wanna continue to support the channel, support the efforts of this vlog, I would greatly appreciate a sub if you haven't already, but also be on the lookout if you wanna purchase a shirt or purchase some Project Lock gear in the very near future. I will have an online website up pretty soon, so just be on the lookout for that. Just one more quick thing, I came across a PokerNews article earlier this week that put a spotlight on poker vloggers. So shout out to PokerNews for that recognition. I think it's great that they're making mention of poker vloggers, because anyone who puts these videos out knows how much work it takes to make a poker vlog. I think Brad Owen summed it up best, that every minute that you see takes about an hour of editing. It looks like PokerNews will be making this a weekly thing, so shout out to the fellow vloggers that were mentioned in this initial round: Ryan Depaulo, Ben Deach, and PokerBEAST. And yeah, just continue to support poker vloggers in any way that you can. Anytime you subscribe, comment, or like a video, it really gives us additional motivation to put out videos. So I just want to thank you all for that. And let's get back into these poker hands. Starting to pick up some additional players in this next one. We are six-handed. Hijack raises to $15. Button calls. I'm in the big blind with ace queen offsuit and 3-betted to $75. The player that is not in a folding mood calls from the hijack, and the button folds. Heads up to a flop of queen queen 3 with 2 clubs, so I flop a monster. He's playing about $360, and I could check to induce, but I opt to go for a down bet of $60, and he pretty quickly folds. So despite the hijack being not in a folding mood, he finds a good fold here. In this next one, I raise it to $20 from the button with queen 9 suited, and the same player in the big blind defends. We go to a flop of ace queen deuce rainbow. He checks, I check it back. Turn comes a 7 of diamonds. He bets $25, and I've got a good hand to bluff catch, so I call. River comes a 5 of diamonds, completing the backdoor flush. He bets pot, $100. And it's pretty close. The board did get kind of nasty by the river, and after going into the tank for a little while, I decided to choose the safe route and just fold. These next couple hands are going to be the most interesting and exciting ones of the night. Under the gun limps, I raise to $25 from the hijack with pocket aces, and I get 3 callers: the cutoff, button, and under the gun. We go 4 ways to a flop of queen queen 5 rainbow. Under the gun checks, and in a multi-way spot, I proceed cautiously and check. The other 2 players check as well. We go to a turn of a 6 of hearts, bringing in a backdoor flush draw. Under the gun checks, I bet $40. Cutoff and button fold. Under the gun, who is a good reg, raises to $120. Can't fold here, so I call. River comes another queen. This time he bets $400, and it's just a crappy spot, as I think he's split between a few hands. Either a queen, of course, or pocket 5s or pocket 6s that is turning their hand into a bluff. And him limp calling under the gun doesn't help narrow things down, as he can have either the 2 hands that I beat or several combos of queen X. This is one of the better players, as I mentioned, at Lucky Chances, so he is capable of bluffing. That said, I just think it's an under bluff spot, so after some deliberation, I begrudgingly make the fold. Fortunate for me though, it is during the high hand promotional time at Lucky Chances, so if he has quads, he gets $100, and it turns out that he does, as he turns over queen jack offsuit to scoop the extra $100 in promotional money with quads.
I had aces. I'm like, fuck. So nasty. Only one-handed beast me. So sick.
In this next hand, I raised it to $20 from middle position with Queen 10 of diamonds. Low jack to my direct left, 3 bets to $75. 2 players call, and when it gets back to me closing the action, I put in the additional $55. And we go 4 ways to a flop of King, Jack, Deuce, all diamonds. So flop the second nuts, checks to the 3 better who puts out $120. The other 2 players fold, and he's playing roughly $550 back. Can either call or raise. I opt to take the most unusual option, which is to jam. And I don't have a great explanation other than the fact that I've got some history with this player, and there have been some moves made in the past. And he tanks for a while and ultimately calls. He tables his hand before the run out, which is pocket aces. I do the gentleman thing and table my hand as well to let him know that he's drawing pretty thin. Turn comes the 6 of diamonds, and the river comes the ace of diamonds. And I've been playing this game for 16 plus years, and this is my first time ever making a royal flush. And it comes at a good time as Lucky Chances pays out $500 for a royal, and I get rewarded by the poker gods for folding aces in the previous hand, and I lock this one up with a royal flush. Things don't end on that high note though. One more hand to run through. It's a straddle pot. Hijack limps. I raise it to $45 from the button with pocket jacks, and I get calls from the big blind and hijack. 3 ways to a flop of 7-4-4 rainbow. Checks to me. I bet $50. Big blind raises to $115. Hijack folds, and I call. We go to a turn of a king of hearts, and this time he checks. I decide to bet $120 targeting a 7 and some draws such as 5-6. He decides to make the call. We're off to a river, which comes a 4 of hearts. He checks, and I decide to take my showdown value this time and check it back. He tables King 10 offsuit, so he was getting frisky on the flop, gets a nice turn, and ends up scooping this one. Alright, so that wraps it up for the notable hands played in this one. It was kind of a slow start as mentioned, and poker is one of those funny games sometimes when you least expect it. Some things can really take a turn, sometimes for the worse, sometimes for the better. In this case, found some really nice run good after folding the pocket aces and making my first royal flush after playing poker for about 16 or 17 years. So really nice to make it at the home court property and get $500 for it. Got in the game for $900, didn't have to add on, and cashed out $1,945. So if you take off the $500 I got from the royal flush, I actually book a win of $545 from playing the actual game. So yeah, not much else to say about this one. Got put into some difficult spots tonight, made some mistakes as always. Always going to make mistakes in sessions, but the goal is to try to minimize them as best you can. I'm going to continue to try to do that. And it's nice to bounce back from the session a couple days ago, and we're trying to keep it going.